Tammy Keener. Welcome to Indie Authors and Music, a podcast about and featuring indie creators. I am sitting here in the studio with Gary Farmer. And Gary, I know a little bit about you, but I want you to tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I am a record producer, pianist, have been in the music business for, boy, I hate to say this, over 60 years. Been around the block quite a few times, played live, written songs, and my main focus now is more about helping other songwriters and artists.
And you have a company through which you do a lot of that. What is the name of your company?
Well, initially my company was set up as the Farm Boy Music Group, which is my recording facility as well as publishing company.
Okay.
But we have branched out now. Our main focus is for the indie music consultants to help independent artists and songwriters get their music put together and out to the public.
Awesome. And I know in this endeavor, you've kind of partnered up with Joy Adams.
Joy Adams is somebody that I have been producing music for 15 years. She lives in New Zealand,
Okay.
which is a bit odd to think about, but between the two of us, we seem to have a lot of information that we can pass on to independent artists and people that are writing songs that want to put together music that they're kind of lost about what to do. Joy does radio. She's a DJ, singer, songwriter, performer. She does CD design work, record promotion. So she does all of that end, and I do the recording end.
Awesome.
Put together the arrangements and hire musicians and get all of the background music recorded. And then between the two of us, we get the vocals cut either at her studio or they cut vocals there and send them to me to finish out the project.
And I also know, just in some recent posts, because we're connected on Facebook as well as in person, but I know that you personally have some music that you put together that is getting some recognition and some awards coming up soon.
I do have a new album that was just released in the last week, actually, called Full Circle, that is just a lot of songs that are fun to play, very memorable. As soon as you hear the song, people know the song immediately. And things I've always enjoyed that I felt that now was the time to put out a new album.
So let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit. How did you get started in the music business? How did all this get started?
Well, I had one piano lesson at 6 years old, and I cried so pitifully after it, my mother wouldn't send me back. But 2 years later, I started taking organ and took 9.5 years of organ lessons that had really set me on the path of being in the music business. I completed the first 6 months of the lesson plan in 2 weeks and was hooked and started playing on the radio after that first 6 months.
Wow.
And have been in music my whole life, one way or another. Even at one point installing car stereos, but I was still involved with music.
Still in music.
It still had to be in it somehow.
I asked a dear friend of mine who was older years ago, and I asked him, I said, does this ever go away? And he told me, if it's real, it never goes away.
It never goes away. I've seen people that they gave up playing, per se, 30 years ago, and they say, oh, I wish I had always stuck with it.
Right.
That love is still there, and I ask many times, do you not play at all? Well, I have a guitar at home, and I still play some for my own enjoyment. Music is something you can do your whole life. It's not like being a football player or baseball player. Your knees and your shoulders and, everything wears out after 10 years. Music you can be in your whole life, and you bring incredible enjoyment to everybody.
I agree with that. So a good point from here is you focus on indie artists. People, basically that means they don't have a record deal or a record contract or any type of publishing deal or whatever. An indie artist is basically promoting themselves,
Right.
representing themselves. Who, am I representing that correctly? And who can be an indie artist?
Anybody.
Okay.
Anybody that writes songs, or they don't even have to write their own songs. They can record songs that have been recorded by anybody else, as long as they get the proper licensing. That's the big thing. If you go out and record something and don't go through the legal steps, you can be sued over it, and you don't want to be sued over it.
No.
I mean, when you start talking about copyright infringement, which is basically what you're doing, you're stealing the song from the songwriter and the publishing company. Copyright violations can be $250,000 per incidence. And the licensing is not that expensive. A songwriter earns 13.5 cents per copy manufactured.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if you've got 10 songs, that means you're going to pay $1.30. $1.35 per album.
Okay.
That's not very much to have to pay for you to be able to manufacture product to sell. People say, well, what's a CD? A lot of the younger people have no idea.
Right.
But they're into downloading music. And it's the same situation. Each copy that is downloaded, that songwriter, that publisher should be paid. And it's 13.5 cents that is divided between the publisher and the songwriter. If the songwriter is self-published, they get all that.
Gotcha.
If a publisher has ownership in it, they get half the money. So a songwriter all of a sudden is getting less and less money.
Okay.
You want to be sure that that guy that's out here trying to write that song is getting his due money.
Right. Which you would want if you wrote the song.
Right. And I've come across it in the recording business where a lot of people, because they hear a song on YouTube, they think it's public domain.
Right.
That you can do anything with. It is not.
No.
And anybody just can't record it and think that I can do it for free. You do open yourself up for all sorts of litigation. Let's say you do a great recording of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and everybody loves it, and it starts being downloaded, and everybody's just excited to death, and all of a sudden there's been 25 million sales. That songwriter didn't get paid. That publisher didn't get paid. You have opened yourself up for a major problem.
And now if you are, say if you've just written poems or songs and you just, you really have a leaning toward music and you've just never done anything with it, is there still a chance to do something with that?
There's still a chance to do that. There's a lot of people that I've worked with are simply lyricists.
Okay.
They only write lyrics. But in their head, they have some sort of sense about where they want the song to go, and they have some way that they can communicate the idea of the song.
Okay.
For me, myself, if somebody comes to me and just starts singing their song, what they've got in their head, I can figure out what chords need to go with that and come up with a song for them. There are companies that are available in that place we know just north of here that they advertise in magazines quite often that say, we can set your song to music. Yes, you pay them a fee and they set your song to music. But then they own half your song.
Right.
That's part of the fine print that most people don't ever talk about. Most of the time, they don't care about the song because 99.9% of the songs that get sent to them, they don't want to do anything with the song. But every once in a while, they come across one that's really good. And if they have that song and they are half owner, then they can try and get recorded. And if they get recorded, part of the fine print is, okay, now we own the publishing too.
Right.
So now instead of you owning all the song, you have not only lost the music portion of it, you have also lost all the publishing. So instead of that 13.5 cents being all yours, you only get 25% of that. And then if it gets signed again, they bring in another writer to write with you, you lose again. So you lose half of that 25%. It just keeps getting divided down. They don't call it the music business for nothing.
Correct.
A whole lot of what goes on is about the business end
Right.
of it. And as songwriters, independent artists, you need to have that grasp, especially in today's world.
And I think that's a really great side of what your indie music consultants is all about, because somebody like me, I love to write songs, but I know I have had you work on songs for me before, and they're beautiful. I love them, but I have confidence in that because I'm not worried about bringing it in and all of those different things that you just talked about being an issue. And I like that you have the indie music consultants, because people who have never possibly even thought about trying this have a venue that they can go to and say, hey, I have this song. What can I do? And you are in the music business, but not in that kind of business where you're
Right.
looking to take away.
Right. I have always been, I'm the guy in the background. I have always been the guy in the background. For me to be the lead performer out doing a show or something is very, very outside of my comfort zone. I've been the guy that plays piano back at the back of the band, support guy, lift everybody up, make everybody sound better, that sort of thing. So I'm still that type of person. And if somebody comes to me and they want help with their stuff, just like with Joy Adams, she's the same way I am. A songwriter comes to her with a song that they want to record, they've not ever done anything with, and they ask her for help. She's not going to want half the song. She's not going to want to be paid for every little thing. She'll make suggestions. She'll say, I think it would sound better this way. Why don't you sing it this way? Why don't you change this line? You need to be a little more concise. You need to expand on this side. She kind of helps you mold the song into something that's going to be something people are going to want to listen to. And she's not going to say, hey, because I helped you with this, I need part ownership.
Right.
She's trying to further what you're doing, just like I am.
Right. Now, that being said, so we're talking about indie artists, indie musicians, indie songwriters. Is there a market out there? Is there a way that once Joy and yourself have helped people to create a better listening experience with their song, you've gotten all the music together, you've laid down the vocals, is there a place where people can listen to this music and they can share? Is there a community out there?
Well, everybody talks about Spotify. So many people are on Spotify. People watch YouTube videos and they say, I just want a song up on YouTube. Okay, that's very doable. There's a number of companies out there that we call them aggregators. They are the people that you send your music to them. They create a little 30-second 45-second, minute-long clip, and they put it up on all of the services, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere that you can listen to digital music or download digital music. They are the ones that get your music up there. They don't do it for free. And depending on the company, and it depends on what that rate is, the ultimate goal is all of them do the same thing. Some of the companies will not let you post a cover song, something that's recorded by somebody else that you're going to re-record. They just don't allow that. They only deal with original music.
Okay.
Some of the companies, they don't care. We'll do originals, we'll do cover material. If you do cover material, then you're going to have to pay X amount of dollars per year, per song, for us to handle the accounting. And what that accounting means, they're going to take care of the licensing to be sure that the songwriters and the publishers are paid based on your sales. So you've got companies that do that. Then you've got companies that you can upload whatever you want to for X amount of dollars, and it's up to you to handle the licensing. And then that falls under a different category. And depending on what you're looking for, then that's a company you have to figure out. I use a couple of different ones.
Okay.
And it just depends. Let's see, I've got actually 3 different companies I'm using now.
Okay.
But that each one of them has their plus
kind of their
features.
Niche.
Yeah. And there's lots of ones out there. You just have to research and look at your situation and figure out which one is best for you. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
Okay.
It's just a situation that once you go through the process a time or two and learn the certain things you've got to do, it becomes very easy.
It's a system from there.
It's just a system.
Okay.
So we've got one lady that we're working with that she's in her 80s.
Okay.
That's gotten into songwriting, and she's winning awards.
Okay.
And doing great. She handles her own uploads for distribution, handles all that, handles her own promotion, writes the songs. She doesn't sing her own songs. She's got somebody else that comes sings the songs for her, and is doing great. So there's not an age limitation here. Everybody thinks, well, you got to be this age or you got to be that age. You can be any age.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Especially working with us, because what we found, and we discovered this a few years ago, Joy was here for an award show, and talking to a lot of the artists, indie artists, they're songwriters, nobody had an idea about what to really be doing with their music. Everybody was fussing about, oh, I didn't get paid for this, or I didn't get paid here, or, I'm not seeing my songs here, and why don't I get recognition, and how, they're not playing it on the radio because they say it's not tagged properly, or it was all these pieces of information that nobody seemed to know. And I told Joy, I said, we're missing the boat. We have this information. We need to start an organization, a company, to help these people get their stuff out there and not do the wrong thing.
And I was looking at some information that Joy shared, and it was really a celebration of multiple of the artists that you all have worked with through the Indie Music Consultants.
Right.
Because she was going over some charts from overseas.
Right.
And several, I think 7 of your artists that you all have worked with are in the top 40
Right.
on the charts overseas.
Yes.
That's amazing. So that really does go to speak to there are so many people out there that are talented, that love music and songwriting, that there is an open opportunity for them to enjoy presenting their music or their songs to other people, just like your
Right.
friend that's 80 years old and still pursuing that because it's something that she loves.
Right. It's we're on to something with who we're working with and what we're doing. So many people fancy themselves as a songwriter, but they don't know what to do.
Exactly.
And they say, "Oh well, I'll put a song up on YouTube." Anybody can put their stuff on YouTube. You make a video of your dog barking at the cat next door and put it up on YouTube. Anybody can do things like that.
Right.
But if you're trying to look at being a songwriter and being recognized as a songwriter and possibly making some money as a songwriter, you have to go through certain steps to get there. You can't just post it on Facebook. You can't just post it up on LinkedIn. You can't just post it on YouTube. You need to go through these steps to get things in place in a certain order. If you follow that template, which is basically what we are trying to help people do, it's what will keep your song in your possession. You don't want to be doing things that you could be leaving a lot of money on the, and I mean a lot of money on the table. Prime example, Joy has written a song several years ago called Best Mom in the World.
Okay.
She toured Europe performing, had the song on a CD. Somebody bought the CD and said, "I'm going to help promote Joy. I really love this song. I'm going to help promote Joy." And they put it up on YouTube. Okay, nice thought. Adoring fan. Don't want to shut them down. Don't want to say don't do that. But because they grabbed the song off of the CD, first off, all the information is not on that CD when you grab the song off.
Right.
Be sure that it's going to be tracked back to Joy. Over 500,000 streams.
Wow.
Now, in the scheme of things, we were talking about 13.5 cents per copy sold. Streaming does not follow that.
Correct.
It takes about 300 streams to earn $1.
Okay.
Excuse me. So YouTube, because it is free to the general public, it is advertising driven.
Right.
So how the songwriter ultimately gets paid from YouTube is through the advertising dollars. You might be watching a video and halfway through it stops and you hear an ad about, you got to get some sort of powder to stop your feet from stinking, and
Yes.
then it's back into the song.
Yes.
So the whole principle about YouTube being ad driven, make sure everybody gets paid. Because of it being set up that way, depending on what's being advertised, some things pay more than others. In other countries, it pays more, pays less. And all that gets accounted by your aggregator, whoever your distributor is. I know from some of the songs that I have up on YouTube that have up with my aggregator, some of those streams have paid as much as 7 cents per stream.
Mm.
Multiply 500,000 times 7 cents.
Wow.
and you can see what kind of money can be generated.
Right.
Now, at the same time, some countries, and depending on time of the day, you might only be paid 0.00001 cent for that stream.
Right.
So it just varies. But your aggregator is the company that's going to keep up with all that, keep everybody legal, keep everybody get paid. So back to the story about Best Mom in the World. Joy tried to get it taken down from YouTube because this person, whoever uploaded it, is actually getting paid for Joy's song.
Right.
And Joy's not getting any credit,
right.
not getting the money, not getting anything out of it.
Right.
And Joy said, not right.
Right.
Started trying to track it back and could not get anything done about it.
Right.
So ended up she went to APRA, who is their writers organization.
Yes.
That's in Australia and New Zealand.
So writers'
it's
rights.
like BMI or ASCAP or CSAC. You see it on recordings all the time here.
Yes.
Went to them and said, here's the situation. Here's the link to the video. I'm not being paid. I didn't give them access to it. They won't respond to my emails. I want it removed. So, that's another thing that we're trying to get everybody involved with as songwriters. You need to become part of one of the writers' organizations. They call them PROs, Performing Rights Organizations.
Yes.
They're the ones that are going to keep up with making sure that your rights are covered when somebody steals your song, records it somewhere. They're going to be sure that your money gets back to you eventually. It's not real quick sometimes, but your money does come back to you eventually.
That's somebody on your side.
There is somebody on your side, and there are accounting organizations to keep up with this information. But once again, it's another piece of the pie that so many people don't know that should know, that they're outperforming their writing songs and they've not done some of these things.
Right.
And it's just little pieces of the pie that between Joy and I, we've got this information that we have compiled through both of our years in the business.
Right.
We're just trying to help the indie artist understand they don't need to leave money on the table. They don't need to go broke trying to get something recorded. They need to be paid as artists and songwriters.
I love it. So, speaking of Joy, I know you're getting ready to go to New Zealand here in just a few days and work with some of your artists and writers in New Zealand.
Yep.
What all do you have on your agenda when you go to New Zealand? What are you doing over there?
Well, this trip, I never know exactly what all I'm doing.
It's what Joy has on the agenda.
Joy has all the information. Now, I'm going to be playing several shows.
Okay.
This time. Got a major festival that's in Taranaki that I'm one of the main acts there. Joy and I are going to actually share a time slot. I'll do part of it. She'll do part of it. So we're going to share that time slot to be part of the festival. Got that. That's one of the main things performance-wise. Also, I've got quite a bit of recording to do for people.
Okay.
Wendy Jewell, that's on the charts that you were talking about.
Okay.
Wendy is working on another album. I've done one album for her. She's working on another album, so we're going to be recording her voice for that. The lady Christine Drake that I was talking about, that's over 80, got some songs to record for her. Gail Russell that I've worked with for a long time. Gail has a couple of songs that she wants to record her voice on, so we're going to do that. Got a new act. Her name is Shar.
Okay.
that she is going to be recording some with us. So got some songs to get her voice on. She eventually wants to have a whole album, but this process takes some time.
Well, I want to, wind everything up by asking, what is your best advice for someone who's listening and they're like, I've always written poems. I've always written these lyrics. Or, I wrote that song and I've just always wondered what to do about it. What would be your best advice as far as where do I start?
Okay. If you are wanting to be a songwriter on whatever level, lyricist, instrumentalist, you've got the idea in your head, you don't play an instrument, but you got a halfway decent voice, first, join a PRO. Join BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. You get a IPI number, which is your identifying number, and that's going to be your number. So anything that happens with your music in your lifetime will go to that account that you can set up to hand it down to your family. Join a PRO. You're going to record a song. If you want to get a song recorded, contact somebody like me, contact Joy. We'll try and help you get with somebody that's going to do the best for you. I'm not going to take on somebody that wants me to do a hip-hop song. I'm not a hip-hop kind of guy. Country, gospel, light rock and roll, blues, that's my thing.
Okay.
I'm more of an instrumentalist than writing lyrics. I've never claimed to be a great lyricist. I'm lyrically challenged.
Okay.
So, whoever is going to record your song, before you even start recording, when you've got the idea that you want to record the song, be sure that you get with somebody to get an ISRC code for your recording. Before you share that song online, before you upload it with an aggregator, all the aggregators will ask you if you have that code. They'll assign one for you, but you need that code before it's ever recorded. In case you say, hey, Mom, here's this song that I've written. I really love this song, and Mom wants a copy of it. And Mom says, boy, I will, I'm going to help him out. I'm going
to share that.
I'm going to share that with some friends on Facebook. You've lost control of your music.
Right.
If you've got the ISRC code, what that stands for is International Standard Recording Code, ISRC.
Okay.
The ISRC number is a fingerprint for that particular recording of that song. So then you've got something to prove that song is yours. You need to copyright your song. Many of your aggregators will also copyright your material at the same time for you. It's just part of the process. You write a lot of songs, it's expensive. You start talking about $75 per registration. That's a lot of money if you write 100 songs a year, or like Max D. Barnes I was telling you about. Write 365 songs a year, you're going to pay out a ton of money.
Right.
So you go broke very quickly. So you copyright, physically copyright with the Copyright Office of your country, that song that you feel is a hit.
Gotcha.
You get somebody interested in your song, copyright it. So first, PRO, if you're going to record a song, ISRC, whoever you're working with to do the recording, they can probably arrange that for you. But if they don't, if they can't tell you anything about what's the ISRC, run
quickly.
Run very quickly. Copyrights, worry about that after the fact. when you start releasing music, pick the PR or aggregator of your choice. You know, I can't tell you which one's the best.
Right.
They
have different features.
They
different
have
niches.
different features, and there's a dozen different ones. So it's just pick whoever you want. Most of them will say we can get your music up to 150 download sites. Some of those sites don't pay anything.
Right.
Some of them pay extremely well. So once again, just pick whoever's got the best features for you. Main thing is just get with somebody that's reputable, not somebody that's in it to grab your money and run.
Which we know happens in the big city.
They didn't like me because I didn't feel like I needed to take all the money.
Right.
I was there to help the person doing the recording, doing the songwriting.
And I think that comes through in your business and what you do to in the full circle of what you're doing with your partnership with Joy and with creating for the songwriters what they're really going for. I think that really comes through, that your end all be all point of what you're doing is to really be that support system for someone else.
And what goes around comes around.
It does.
If you're sticking it to somebody every time you turn around, you're going to be in a world of hurt somewhere down the road. So you're going to be constantly worried about somebody chasing you, coming after you for something. That people keep coming back to me.
Right. And there's a good reason for that.
Right.
We're going to talk more about your nominations really, really quickly. I don't want to skate over that. Your music has been nominated. Tell me the group that has nominated you for awards.
Okay. Coming up this August, again, I am up for an award with the International Singer-Songwriters Association, which is based in Atlanta. Okay. There's over 20,000 members now. It's a little different in that it's more singer-songwriters, indie artists. That's their focus. It's the people that are driving the industry today. It's not the major record companies or some award show telling you have to like this song. This is what's going to be the next hit song. They're not the ones that's driving that. They are the ones they're the army that's on the ground driving this business.
Wow.
And I am up for Sound Engineer of the Year. I won that a couple of years ago.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Musician of the Year.
Okay.
Male Songwriter of the Year.
Okay.
So I'm up for 3 awards.
Awesome.
It is set up so that after the nomination period, which runs till the end of March, 1st of April, maybe the 2nd, they will start online voting. And friends, fans, family, everyone can go and vote.
Okay.
And you can vote once a day on every device.
Oh, wow.
So you've got a laptop, you've got a desktop, you've got a tablet, you've got your phone, you've got 4 devices you can vote on every day during the voting period, which runs till the end of April. That will pull down the actual finalists.
Okay.
Which will be 25 to 30 finalists.
Okay.
Those finalists will be sent to the previous Gold Award winners at ISA for the last 2 years, and they are the ones that will make the final determinations.
Okay, but once you're past the nominations, which are made by the organization itself and the members, right?
Right.
You're basically moved up by the votes of everyone, the general public.
Right.
So we'll make sure and make those links available.
Right.
So if you're listening to the show and you want to help support Gary in his nominations, we'll make sure and make those links available to everyone.
Well, thanks.
And if they want to listen to you, how do they listen to your music?
Okay, if you're on Spotify, just look up Gary R. Farmer. Got to put the R in there because there is another Gary Farmer that is a musician, that is an actor, that has a blues group.
Oh, wow.
So he's on there as well, but look up Gary R. Farmer, put the R in the middle. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, anywhere you want to. There's a few videos as well. You may see things that are Joy Adams featuring Gary R. Farmer. Same situation, we co-wrote songs together. Some things Joy wrote, and because I'm singing harmony and everything, she made me part of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty accessible through all of the download sites. You can find me on Facebook, Gary R. Farmer on there as well, and you will see notices occasionally about upcoming events and voting for the awards and such as that.
Wonderful. I'll make the link available for Facebook too for everyone. If you want to connect with Gary on Facebook, I'll make that link available to you also. I've enjoyed sitting down with you. We haven't talked in such a long time.
It's been a while.
But it's just been so enjoyable just to sit down here in your studio and talk to you. And I so appreciate what you're doing with the group that you've created for indie artists, because there's so many people out there just looking for the money behind everything, and there's plenty of that out there for everybody if we all work together. And I think that's the way you and Joy have gone about this. Right. And I've just enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much.